And so I said, Joseph, can you please step into my office for a bit here? Just real quickly, can you step into my office?
Yep.
Right here.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank
Yep.
you.
No.
All right. Take a seat. Take a seat, Joseph. Take a seat.
Okay. No.
Yeah, thank you. Do you want to stand? You can't move your mic, so it's probably not good to stand. Yeah?
I'm gonna sit, thank you.
Okay. All right, no worries. So I have a bit of a problem here. A rival podcast, the Young Crumbs, they've called us out, and they've specifically called out our manager. Now I know that me here in my office on the highest floor in the building may seem like the manager, and I know I've called myself the manager, but it's Dan that's running the show.
So
Pardon?
different. Nothing. Go on.
Oh, okay. It's Dan that's running the show, and I feel like because of Dan's poor insight, and we've been publicly like
is because he's basically the marketing. Has marketing failed us here?
Yeah, he's the ringleader of this whole operation. And he
I
brought the
think we
topic
should-
to the table. I think we need to usurp Dan. I think
I think we should call HR. So let me just get HR. Let me just get HR.
Go to HR. All right.
Yeah, HR here. Yep.
Oh, what? Okay. So why do we need HR for like okay? So
of all people. Before this bit gets any further, hi, welcome to the Slalt Cast. I'm Dan, the two people in the office. We have
Coby. I'm Coby.
Joseph, yeah,
and Joseph playing the part of HR. So what does HR have to weigh in on this? I'm not in
All right,
the office.
so let's continue with the bit. Yes,
So-
welcome HR.
HR's here. So what I was thinking, Daniel, he's illegitimized our business by taking precious metals and topics from the young crumbs. He's taken some of their crumbs.
Yes, yeah.
They're not as young anymore. He's taken
yes.
their crumb
Yeah,
spirit,
Yeah.
like in Sandman.
Yep. yeah, no, you're right. Yes, you're right.
So I think, as you said, usurp, but we need to do it in a way that's legal,
Knock, knock, knock.
environmentally friendly.
Hold on,
just one minute, sir.
We don't speak English.
Occupado, my pants are still down.
I must have the wrong room. Sorry.
It's all right.
Pants are still down. Please leave.
Continue.
And so we need to do it in a way legal.
Yep.
But we need to find a legitimate successor.
Okay.
Knock,
I
knock,
think
knock.
that's more the issue here.
Knock, knock, knock.
Okay.
Fuck me. Who is this? Cunt?
So I can't help. Look, I told you I was looking for another. I know, in fact, this is the room that I'm looking for, and I'd be lying if I said I walked away.
Sorry, who are you again?
Hi, I'm Dan, founder of the Slalt Cast, leader, head. You could call me. Fure is a strong word.
Could you let me put my pants on?
Yeah.
No.
Can
Anyway,
you please...
I heard through the door that you guys needed legal help. I'd like to remind you that I'm also the lawyer for the show, so any legal things gonna have to run through me.
We'll see. We were looking at Storm. We will look at maybe getting together a group of people through a social media app.
Wait a minute. Getting together a group of people, would these people be employees? Because you know how anti-union we are in this company.
No.
We don't do
If
that.
if one person comes to me with a complaint that they're not at union, they're getting fucking sacked, and I'm HR. I can do that.
Yeah. So my point is that like we've set up a social media app. I know you don't know about it yet. It's kind of like just something that you've kind of just been hands off with. I know because
I'd like to
had you sign the paperwork after a really big night out.
It's called Parlor.
Yeah, and we're gonna storm the building. Your office building, just your office building. Like we have this office here, and we know that you were in a completely separate 70-story building.
Yes, that is true.
Just for yourself.
As you can see, I'm at
elevator.
the top floor of my 70-story building.
That's a fucking tall tree.
That is holy shit. It's almost like you're on a single story, but it's yes. So we're just so we're just gonna get those people, and I think
I'm at your door, but I'm in a different building.
Yeah. It's like it's
where
really
am I?
wonka shit. So and I think HR and I have got this down. I think there's nothing that needs to be signed off legally.
Well, what I'd like to say is, look, I presume you guys are discussing the Young Crumbs the controversy, where we as a whole, not anyone in particular. I think the whole company.
Look, Dan,
can you please
take a seat?
I was already sitting.
Oh,
He's
okay, sorry,
he's
I'll
already
stand.
sitting.
I'll stand.
There's just kind of like a chair outside your door, you know.
Okay, now I'm allowed to have pants because I'm not allowed. I'm allowed to not have pants. You probably should have pants on.
So Dan, sorry, I'll sit again because this is really awkward. Dan, we've kind of come to the decision that your decision making of stealing other podcasts' bits is not cool. However, we have a solution. We have a solution.
I can get legal. Do you want me to get legal?
Yeah, please get legal.
Sorry, I'll go get legal.
Yeah, no worries.
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm from legal.
Hi, Dan from legal. So there
you
is
have a
two ways to
complaint
do
about
this.
our Lord and Savior?
We can either usurp Dan, or we can
okay,
just go. We can double down. We can double down, and we can just call out the Young Crumbs for stealing our bit.
Okay,
we can just tell the public
get
lies that the Young Crumbs stole our bit.
Well, no, if we're going to perform a coup d'état, coup d'état.
Look, I think coups and
we need the head of security.
And
let me go get the head of security.
Things that we need to avoid.
Okay. Well, no. HR's just getting the head of security.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
It's me, head of security.
He didn't even fully leave frame.
Welcome.
No, because my wires are all tangled.
Oh, I see.
You can't see that. But so a coup d'état, and I'm planning. Let's structure this company in a way that there is a strong leader at the top. Then there's sort of a group.
I feel like this is getting a bit too political.
But then, what I feel like everyone works for each other. It's like a national.
I feel like this
socialism.
I feel
like
security has legal. Look, I'm going to put the.
Why do we have a military department?
Okay, so look, I'm just going to summarize for any people who happen to be passively hearing this conversation over a podcast type YouTube or live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Slalt Cast. What I'm hearing is that as the head of legal, you guys, in response to the allegations from the Young Crumbs podcast, friend of the show, podcast made by people from the year above us in high school who started about the same time as us, the allegations that they made against the Slalt Cast, not specifically its founder Dan.
It was very specifically.
Was very specifically against the manager, and you are the manager.
I want to point out that Dan does most of the work. I possibly do nothing. Well, no, not possibly. I do nothing.
Arguably the least.
Coby does a little bit, definitely more than me. So it's all on you, Dan.
I think as
deniability. I'm the Albert Speer. I left the meeting when they started talking about the Holocaust.
Anyway, I'm trying to explain the story.
Plausible deniability.
The allegations that we in fact stole their bit on last week's episode. Just to clarify for you people at home. So the Young Crumbs is a podcast. They're friends of ours. We went to high school with them, known in the year above us, and they started a podcast about the same time we did. They have a weekly segment where they rate people's Subway orders. So every week they put out like an Instagram poll, like send us what your Subway order is, and we're gonna rate one. And look, the keen-eyed among you last week may recall that I put out a poll. Well, not I. It could have been anyone in the company. I'm not.
It was Dan.
It was you.
I don't think any one party can take blame. Dan
is the main person on the social team.
I don't think anyone can. Look, the whole social team is implicated in this, and there's going to be a royal commission into who made the post.
Wait, is HR getting fired?
No.
Look, I've gone.
Dan is the head
you.
of the social team.
I've gone above
so
you. I don't know if we need to. The social team asked to remain anonymous. There may have been a similar post regarding Domino's pizza orders on the Instagram last week, and the Young Crumbs may have noticed the similarity, and made heavy implications, dare I say allegations, that we stole their joke. Now, or stole their bit, rather. I think that these allegations are unfounded, and we should start podcast beef with the Young Crumbs, even though the joke was very clearly stolen. What say you?
Well, see, that's option B, right? If option A, overthrowing Dan, because overthrowing Dan means that somebody else has to do the work.
The security's here, and we're ready to implement
again. That
Once
would
again,
can I
go get Dan again?
If you use the security team to overthrow Dan, that you would have to do all the work.
I'm going to go get Dan so he can weigh in.
Okay, no worries. So I think that what we should do...
Hi, I'm back. How was legal? Great guy. I love that guy.
What we should do instead is...
just take a shit in his car?
Yes, but also just say to the public that it was our bit first. We had the idea before they had the Subway idea. They're not going to know what hit them. They're just going to accept that fact because they admitted openly that they don't listen to our podcast, which I think is a fallacy The boys support the boys.
That's fellatio.
I was going to say, Joseph, look, I'm going to ask you a question. You have to answer honestly because I'm your lawyer and I've got you to swear on not a Bible and you're an atheist thus. Anyway.
I swore in a book of World War II facts.
Do you listen to the Young Crumbs podcast? Yes or no?
I used to.
No, yes, you listen to the most recent
Currently,
episode?
no. Currently, no.
No, Joseph, just say yes.
Currently because of the events of this week?
Well, yes.
Coby, do you listen
to... I was out of the meeting. Albert Speer.
Coby, do you listen to the Young Crumbs podcast?
I used to until they slandered our business.
And look,
your business.
900 page.
I'm the same. I also listen to the Young Crumbs podcast, and I think when they lofted these allegations towards us, they in fact indicated that none of them listened to our podcast. So, look, I'd like to bring before you the judge and the jury today. That
Yes. Oh, do you want me to get the judge? Hold on.
Can you go get the judge? Actually,
fuck me, God, can we end this bit?
Yes, I am the judge. I have my gavel. It looks like a symbol.
I'd like to level to you, judge and jury. Chat, you're the jury. Yes. We're streaming this live twitch.tv/Slalt Cast. I'd like to level to you, the jury, that we in fact, based on lack of evidence, as the prosecution did not even listen to the context of the joke, we could not have stolen the bit. It was in fact our bit. I acknowledge no bit of theirs. I've never heard of Subway or the Young Crumbs.
Tell a joke.
No. Anyway, basically, yeah, Young Crumbs, we did steal your bit, but fuck you.
Well, the jury has spoken.
Geez.
We didn't steal any bit. We came up with it first.
Stick broke. That went for longer than I thought it would.
And saying,
that went so long. My God.
Well, Joseph, I kind of blame your tangent bringing in government structuring and...
Yeah.
I just wanted to talk about having a coup and that we're getting rid of Dan. I don't know where you guys were taking it. Well, maybe we should have discussed
this. We both
this.
had like a kind of unified direction towards we were going to slander the Young Crumbs. We in fact did discuss this.
Yeah.
I wasn't listening, obviously.
Obviously. So what up? This is the Slalt Cast.
This is the Slalt Cast. Welcome. If you've made it this far, fucking you.
Yeah, no, if you're still here, my God, I would have left by now.
So I went up to Queensland over the weekend.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did.
Brain cells lowered?
And as teased last week, we have it. The Scars IPAs have been delivered. Joseph, grab your Scars IPA that Coby remembered to bring, and he forgot. Coby and Caden had one job and they forgot. They forgot to deliver the beers.
So there were a lot of things that were promised that had been forgotten up there. So, and there is a reason. Do not worry, there is a reason. And it's because we're dumb cunts. Some more than others.
That's something I wouldn't have thought of.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks. So I drove up Thursday night. I left at 6. Got to the place. Got to my stop at 10. Stopped at a motel.
Got touched
funnily enough, someone was murdered there that night. That's untrue. Wish it was me. But
okay. We made
the trip up, and then I got to Caden's. I saw my brother. Then I got to Caden's girlfriend Summers. Parked my car there. Then we headed straight out.
Yes.
And then so I'm not a beer drinker. I don't really like beer. My body has a very bad reaction to it.
And when he says bad reaction, he's not allergic. He just can't swallow it.
I just can't swallow it. You know, it's a lot like cum. My door's open.
Have you tried? Yuck. You're disgusting.
It's a joke. Man. It's a joke.
Yeah, he can swallow it real
implication.
Good.
So anyway, as we were heading to the car, Summer ran back inside, and then she runs back out with 3 Scars IPAs in her hand and said, "Oh, here's one for you all." And then I took it and I sheepishly said, "Oh, I don't drink beer." And I felt really bad. So there was a Scars IPA. I took a picture and I sent it to you boys, and I'm like,
I saw that picture and I thought, there is no way he forgets now.
So I forgot.
Turns out he's a fucking idiot.
So I saw Verum play.
And how was it? How was Verum live? Yeah, this is the first time any of us have seen them in about, like, seen them play live in a year, pretty much. Over a year.
Yeah. So, thing about Queensland is that you can stand at a venue. You can stand at venues. So it was fucking sick because I got to dance to Verum music. and I got to hear some of their unreleased songs, and songs that we haven't heard, even though they've like been playing them for like a year or whatever. It was fucking crazy.
It's
So
a shame
then-
that Caden's not here tonight to talk about it.
yeah, it's crazy. Unlucky buddy. And then, Caden sucked my dick, and I was like, nothing. I saw
What?
Lawrence.
Did I miss something?
It was like platonic, Joe, so there's no need to.
Yeah, it was in the green room. It was like he would also agree that it happened if he was here, but he's not. So
I'm pretty sure on Verm's writer, Caden just wrote a salty surprise and winked.
So yeah, so also no lockout laws, so you can just stay in the city. This was in Brisbane, for as long as you want. So we were up there until like 3, is when we left for the Airbnb, just before 3. I was hanging out with Tom.
You can do that at Sydney as well, though.
Yeah, but you just can't
It
go
just
anywhere and
sucks as
drink.
much.
Yeah.
And also, we don't have lockout laws. I just want to also remind
Yeah,
you.
they got repealed
got
at the start of
abolished.
quarantine. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, fuck.
That
Yeah,
had no
and then-
impact on our lives because it was all like lockout laws are repealed. Also, clubs are closed.
So I was drinking with Tom until like 3 a.m. talking about bands and shit. And then we went back. And yeah, so then the next day, woke up pretty hungover. Saw my brother and my nieces. Saw Caden after his second gig. I didn't get to see that gig, unfortunately.
You didn't get
and
to see the gig because you didn't make the effort to.
No. So there's a story. There's a story here, Dan.
You went to your brother's soccer game and then you because you didn't realize the scenario.
Okay, what do you have to like?
Look, I just
vary
think you
this?
could have made more of an effort, honestly.
We'll see. Like, I'm not gonna not say goodbye to my brother, who I don't see that often. Dan.
But that wasn't the ultimatum. You could have said goodbye and then gone to the gig the way you explained it to me.
Yeah, but see, like, but then, like, it wouldn't have, anyway.
Coby once again folding under the pressure, much like the
then-
cocktail milkshake debate of
All right, let's not get into this. Let's
Like
not
the
get into this,
cockshake.
please.
Cockshake.
Cockshake.
Yo!
So then we went.
Oh, okay.
I got a private Aeons concert.
Wow.
In form of a jam, and then
Oh, okay.
yeah.
There's going to be some.
I mean,
saucy
they were
stuff.
jamming. It was Aeons jamming, and I was there sitting in front of them, watching them intently, watching Tom intently.
Was watching every move.
I was staring at him.
Breath you
intently.
take, I'll be watching you.
So then, after that, woke up the next morning, and we were very tired because I woke up at what it would have been like 5. It would have been like 4 o'clock Sydney time, 4 a.m. Sydney time. No, sorry, 6 a.m. Sydney time. Sorry, my bad.
It's a 1 hour
'cause
difference.
they're,
I don't know how you've jumped.
No, I
so
went an
yeah.
hour behind instead of an hour forward. Sorry, my
Okay.
bad. And you know what? Just completely forgot. I'm gonna be honest. But
What are you
however,
talking about now?
The
Are you still on
beer
the...
still.
I completely
Oh,
forgot the beer.
okay.
I completely because it was too early in the morning. We were feeling a bit lovesick because I'm leaving Caden.
I don't know if
he's-
that's what lovesick means.
but he's nice to me more than you
Definitely.
guys are nice to me.
I-
So
Because he only
disagree.
he doesn't see you.
that's true.
It's not that he's nice to you, it's that he doesn't have the opportunities to be mean to you.
Yes.
No, he definitely does. But another promise that I promised last
You
week
failed
before I
on
went up
a number of promises.
was that I would sign people.
Oh, you
And-
didn't fail on this one.
Well, I kind of did because I was gonna sign as many people as I could because my
Just wait, what? Is there an image of these signatures somewhere that I can pull up?
yeah I
There were
can,
Instagram stories, weren't there? Or
yeah I'll try and find some. Hold on, uno
But-
momento, por favor.
Well, are you able to talk while you're doing it, or would you like me to introduce?
No. I can talk. Okay, I can't find my messages at the moment. We'll do the Instagram post or whatever. And so I'd completely forgotten about it, and I just thought that it was going to be like a lot of idiots that I was going to be surrounded by, so I could like sign them and be like, "Hey, can I give you a bit of a sign?" But that wasn't the vibe. But I've forgotten about it anyway until Lawrence. I met Lawrence, number one contributor Lawrence. he gave me a Sharpie and told him to sign his arm. So I signed him and Summer's arm. Summer is Caitlin's girlfriend. But nobody else.
Well, 2 signatures is better than 0, honestly. Like,
I do agree.
It's not much better, but it is better.
Yeah. So that was my weekend. I took a...
You also failed to settle the cocktail milkshake debate. I feel like that's the most important thing. This has been a debate that's been raging across the podcasts, across the Twitch streams, twitch.tv/Slalt Cast, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Okay.
We've debated this non-stop for about 3 weeks now. And you had the perfect opportunity to settle this debate. You even said it on last week's podcast. You were going to return to the restaurant and ask a waitress, and see her response, and you choose not to.
Okay. I need a...
Well, I do want to point out that Byron and Kingscliff are it's like 40 minutes away.
I never stepped foot in Kingscliff.
He promised that he would. You should have gone out of your way. Is what I'm.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna pull up the menu here, and I think it's gonna prove my point. It's gonna prove my point. If it loads.
Okay, but you send it to me so I can show it to the stream.
Yeah, I will. So, where is it? There it is. So, what I found is that I asked basically everybody that I saw up there.
But once again, we can't trust how you're delivering the question.
So I always made sure to deliver the question that if I had a milkshake and put alcohol in it, what would you call that? That was always the question.
A cocktail.
Right? And people would usually come back, maybe a spiked milkshake. And then I would add...
Who says spiked milkshake? I want
to know just something, some variety of that.
Spiked milkshake.
So if you look at that menu there, and you go down to the
right,
you look to the drinks, and you look to the drinks part. See how cocktails are separated from the milkshakes, where you can add alcohol.
So it is the milkshakes are listed, and then you can add Baileys, add liquor to any of these milkshakes.
But you do concede that they are then milkshakes.
I actually haven't seen this menu until now. No, this backs us even more. So a cocktail, generally, it's like a liquor. May Jayla, excellent streamer, twitch.tv/May Jayla, go listen, go watch. She came into our chat before and we're having this discussion on our stream in the live pre-show. She came in and she said that the base of a cocktail should be the liquor. And each of these, there's 5 different shakes, there's 4 different shakes here, and each of them is a different, specific liquor. So each of the flavors has been built around the liquor.
So they actually are.
So they're even more so cocktails.
No, I would say the liquor has been chosen to complement the flavor of milkshake.
No, definitely these. There's not. It's not like
it kind of got.
No, it's not like a vanilla milkshake and a chocolate milkshake.
That's true.
It's like a milkshake built around...
Yeah, and
I'm not wavering off this. These are cocktails.
No, yes, they are cocktails, but I would refer to them as alcoholic milkshakes because that's what they would be.
And they're placed in the milkshakes category purely for convenience because they want you to be able to order them.
Because they're milkshakes.
No, because they're cocktails.
Dan, even so, I had a great point raised by my mum and my brother that you can have a milkshake with alcohol in it and just call it a milkshake, right?
Yes, but that's misleading. Because... You would give a child a milkshake, you wouldn't give a child that milkshake because it's a cocktail.
Yeah, no, you just wouldn't. No, that's a completely different context.
No.
You can just have something in it with alcohol in it, right? And it technically makes it a cocktail, but you don't call, if I put fruit juice, like a smoothie and I put a shot of vodka in it. Yeah, you could call that a cocktail, but this is just the smoothie that I regularly have, mixed berries or whatever the fuck it is, and I added alcohol to it. I'd be like, yeah, this is a smoothie that I made. I put a shot of vodka in it. It tastes fucking sick, right? I wouldn't call it a cocktail, even though it is. I wouldn't say this is a cocktail I made.
Look,
have a look at this cocktail I made that I'm going to serve you.
If I did that and I was going to be one of those people who posts everything they do on their Instagram, I'd be like, fucking look at this sick cocktail I made. It's a blah 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 smoothie with a shot of vodka. I'd say it's a cocktail. It's a cocktail.
And then people would message you being like, a cocktail isn't just one alcohol typically.
Yeah,
or like just,
very typically.
It isn't just
very
it isn't just
typically.
this smoothie that you made with alcohol in it.
I mean, but that is exactly what it is.
I've just given up. You guys are
Anyway,
wrong. I know you guys are wrong.
Let's pause this debate for another week, and we'll get back to it in the future streams. So does that summarize your up the coast trip?
That was my trip up the coast. You know, there was a lot of blood involved as well, but you know, we don't have to get into that. So,
Well, yeah, I thought we weren't even going to
it
bring it up, and you just
I'm sorry, guys. I'm fucking
the murders.
No, don't.
Oh no, no murders. There were no murders.
Yeah, no murders.
I also had an interesting event, and I think it happened last Thursday, so it was like the day after the podcast went live.
Okay.
Are you guys familiar with popular mapping service Google Maps?
Yes.
Yes.
And the service they offer known as Google Street View.
Yes.
Now, are you guys familiar with how the images are captured for this Google Street View?
It's a car, isn't it?
Yeah, so basically a car, a man, or a woman, or non-gender specific, a person, let's say, is paid to kind of slowly drive around a bunch of streets with a car with a big pole with a 360-degree camera on it.
Okay.
To emulate kind of being, in theory, standing on these streets, but it's the elevation. No person's 9 feet tall, except for the lady from Resident Evil that everyone wants to be stepped on by. Anyway.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she's pretty hot.
So
she's pretty hot. Did you
see the thing? What?
I put a lot of detail into that bitch.
Ooh. See, if I said that, you'd get angry.
I was gonna get angry, and then I thought you were gonna yell at him. I was like, character development, but then you didn't.
Well, no, but I was just saying, if I said that,
yeah, but you shouldn't have said that, Coby. Chastised. That timeout corner. Give yourself 3 spanks.
Bronk, corny Joe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Thursday morning at about it must have been about 7:30 a.m.
Wow.
I don't think I had work that day, so I was just kind of in my bed vibing. My mother, who leaves for work at about that time, sends me a text message. She says, "Daniel, the Google Street View car is coming around." And I'm like, fucking, it's time, boys. So I grabbed the nearest shirt and pants I could find, whipped them on, and then stood out the front of my house and waited for the Google Street View. I was in the Google Street View photo. That's my story.
Actually?
Yeah, I don't think it's.
Did you wear one of these shirts?
No. So that's why I'm kind of upset with myself, because I believe I was wearing this exact shirt. Actually, it has been washed since. Calm down. But I just
the famous shirt from the shirt.
The time frame was not. It really, like, I didn't. There was a sense of urgency because she'd only just left. So this car has to be only in the next street.
It was like down the road.
Yeah. And so I was like, hey, fuck, I have to go. So fucking ran out, top speed, walked out to the letterbox. I was right down the end of the driveway at street level. I was fucking ready. And I was like, now, obviously, how do you pose? Do you want it to look natural? Like, oh, I was just checking my letterbox. Or do you want to, like, fucking dab? Do you want to... So I opted for the letterbox thing because I was kind of like... I realized what was happening. I was standing out on the street at 7:30 in the morning. I thought, wait a minute. I look like a bit of a weird cunt. So I did the faux mailbox check. So hopefully once these images are processed, I'm famous, baby. Preserved forever in Google's archives.
Okay. All right. See, I've been on a street when a Google Maps car has been passing, and I checked the specific location where I was when I saw it pass, and like quite a while after. So I assume it.
I was going to say, it generally
processed.
takes weeks to months for them to process the images.
And I'm not there. I wasn't there.
So what was the nature of the road you were on? Was it like a main road? Was it a side street?
It was kind of a mixture of both.
So like, generally, I live on like a cul-de-sac. So
yeah,
they'll only image each street once per run. I've done research on this. You know, I've been planning this a long time. If it's a possibility that they could have driven up, they've already imaged that street, because they'll generally do the whole thing in one go, and then they might have been coming back to do the cul-de-sacs and the side streets. It's very possible, but that's what happened there, and thus you've missed your imaging opportunity.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, ours got done like fairly recently. Our street, because like
I think they must be doing our area again. The last time our area was imaged was, or at least my suburb, was August of 2020. So they're coming back about 6 months later.
Which is very like quick, isn't it? Is that just me?
They tend to do them a lot more frequently these days, from what I understand, to kind of keep the maps up to date. Now that Google, big company, not sure if you heard of them, Australia's trying to kick them out for some reason.
Can someone explain that to me? I don't understand it.
So I'm not super up on it, but what I understand is the Murdoch press is lobbying the government to pass a bill that will effectively charge Google. Like their argument is that Google should be paying the news sites for linking their content because the news sites are providing them a service. When
That's the other way around.
When any other sane human would say, "Wait a minute, the news sites, like the newspapers are dying. Those news sites would get no traction if not for Google search. If anything, like the mutually beneficial relationship, the news sites are benefiting more." So the government has proposed a tax. And Google said, well, if you do this, like, we're not paying this, this is, like, kind of unfeasible to implement, and it's also stupid. If you do this, we're going to have to remove... Not all of, like, so all good, you'll still be able to do your Gmail and stuff in Australia, but...
I was going to say, fuck, if Gmail
they're going to pull... They're threatening to pull search from Australia. I believe there's been updates, they've proposed, like, a compromise. I'm not sure at the current state of the bill, but that... Basically, fuck the Murdoch press.
Good, because fuck yeah.
Also,
just FYI, my image capture of my house was October 2020.
There you go.
Damn.
So only 5 months ago. Jesus Christ.
COVID, man. It'll get you.
I don't know where I am.
Joseph, you're home. You're home with us. You're safe. Come here. Come into my arms.
My old car's there.
My arms. Run into my arms.
My little alpha.
So, boys, what's your opinion on slave labor?
Okay.
Okay, that woke me up.
So one of my there's like the story from there's been a couple stories in video games of people using other players, like in like multiplayer games, people using other players as effectively slave labor. There's the story about the Minecraft server that broke the Geneva Convention by forcing new players, basically trapping new players and forcing them to go and mine obsidian for them for a certain number of hours before they released them to the server.
Broke the Geneva Convention.
And then EVE Online is like pretty huge on this, whereas guilds will get new players and they'll force them to like go mine or get
hazing, isn't it called? Like
something like that.
Initiation.
Most recently in a game called Elite Dangerous, which is another space sim. There was a recent update to this game which gave players the ability to buy fleet carriers, which are basically big ships where you can put your little ships in it and you can travel longer distances into like further galaxies, basically, further star systems. So this one guild, they camp out in systems where new players are more likely to be, and they go, "Hoi, join us, fucking hop in our fleet carrier, and we're going to take you to some like mineral-rich star systems. You're going to make stacks of money. It's going to be fucking sick." They get him into their fleet carrier, and then they warp somewhere that is so unbelievably far away that their new players and their ships have no chance of getting back. And they force them to mine minerals, sell them back to the new people at like a really fucking like low rate. Like they're basically ripping them off, and then there's no end in sight for these people. There's a quote from one of the people running this scam. I, along with my cohorts, are going to build the greatest noob army this game has ever seen. We will truly be able to shape the galaxy with our wealth and influence. And so basically they're doubling down. Frontier, the studio who makes the game, is kind of monitoring the situation but hasn't outlawed these players. And there's also been a rescue mission mounted by the subreddit where they're sending out their own like fleet carriers to try and rescue the new players.
Oh god, that's hilarious.
So that's the best thing ever.
Yeah, have you guys ever been part of a forced labor in a video game?
No, like what the fuck? What? I don't understand.
No, see, I mean, I guess it's funny, right?
It is very funny. It's hilarious.
It's very funny.
It's one of the funniest things I've heard.
Oh, it's amazing. I love that shit happens, and they're playing just within the game, like the rules of the game. So that's why the studio hasn't done anything to alter it.
I know about the 2B2T, the Minecraft server that like forced players into slave labor. It's fucking hilarious. There are a lot of hilarious stories from that server. Well, it was.
We used to play.
It was.
There's an Australian Minecraft server called Epicraft that we used to play on like 8 years ago.
Did we get kicked off that one? Did I get kicked
I'm
off
sure
that one?
you did. And so they had like a PvP, like faction PvP server, and I think like that server progressed to the point where it was like a perfect fucking Black Mirror, so to say, of like the real world. Where it kind of boiled down to a two-party system. There was two main factions, and to join either one of the factions, you had to give them fucking like many cows. You had to, like, that was a joke, but you had to basically give them like a lot of resources before they let you to join. And if you weren't aligned with one of these two factions, you were basically screwed. You'd be like constantly killed and stuff. So yeah, there was a point where I had to go and mine a fuck ton of diamonds and give them to these people just because I wanted to play on this server. It was fucked up.
What the fuck?
See, humans truly are a disease on the earth, and I think this just proves it.
There will always be a
stories.
sense of power.
Unless we return to monkey.
Even then, the strongest monkey will be...
The strongest monkey will lead.
Will win you.
No.
Exactly.
Caesar will lead.
Caesar wasn't a tyrant.
Fucking Planet of the Apes is so underrated.
It was one of the best
the old one or the new
trilogies.
one?
The new ones.
Yeah, the new one's
one of the
good.
it's one of
Except
the
the
best
last
trilogies.
The last one was okay.
The last one's brilliant. What's wrong with you?
War for the Planet of the Apes.
A war for the globe.
Yes, it's War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
Don't make that joke from Screen Junkies. I know you're going to do it.
It's
It
not
was from the Orange trailer.
Okay.
Steal it again, Kobe. Stealing stuff
jokes.
from YouTube.
Yeah, what the fuck? It was probably Coby who did that. But yeah, no, I think
maybe Kobe and Crumbs.
Hey. Joseph,
Matt Reeves
Joseph
does not get enough credit for the work he did on those movies.
Those are some good movies.
Fucking stand out, and I can't wait for his Batman, which is coming never.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's meant to
everyone's gonna
come
have COVID.
next year? Or 2 years? I forget. Batman 2022 sounds familiar.
2021.
4th of March
it is.
2022.
Hey, look at me, fucking dead on the.
Oh, wait.
money.
Because it's 2021 this year.
On the money.
Sorry.
But speaking of
confused.
Batman, here we go.
Wait,
This
it's
has been
2021 this year.
It is 2021
Yeah.
this year. Speaking of Batman, the Snyder Cut is fucking coming on a sort of rate that is upsetting. I believe it comes
When
out.
does it come out?
I think it comes out in March. They posted the date recently.
Oh, no.
Do we get to go to the movies to watch it?
I
not
fucking
wor-
hope so. It comes out 18th of March 2021.
Holy
So hopefully
shit.
we're in a position with
But
COVID
doesn't
where
it
we
come
can
out in
attend
like
at the
4
cinema.
things? Or
It's a
like-
4-hour. It's going up, from what I understand, is a 4-hour movie on HBO Max in the States. And I'm not certain of the international release plan, but I imagine
240 minutes.
it'll be like there'll be some sort of limited theater run. I fucking hope so. I can't wait
Jared
to
Leto's Joker is back.
Yes, so
And
recently,
they
That's
got
something
rid
I
of the
didn't think.
damage.
Within
They
the
got
last-
rid of the damage.
yeah, within the last 24 hours, well, over the time since this announcement, Zack Snyder's just kind of been posting shit. But he uploaded this image.
Australia is on fire.
Oh fuck!
In 5
Where's the music
months,
coming
more than
from?
6.3 million hectares have
Dan,
burned.
stop.
Found it.
Dan?
He uploaded this image of the Joker, from the Snyder Cut, and as you can see, all of his face tattoos and stuff. I'm not sure they've been removed, but he's painted over them. Jared Leto appears to have refused to cut his hair for this.
Hey, kind of looks like Joseph.
But yeah, and he's written
Am
away
I the
in Arkham.
Joker?
But my question
Nice,
kind of is, how the
sorry.
fuck are they going to squeeze Joker into Justice League? Like, how much is
I
he
don't
changing
know.
this movie?
I'm so like... I don't even know what the DCEU is anymore.
What if this just ends up being a sequel to Justice League and we've all been fucking fooled?
No, it's
You know?
not. I think
That's
it's going to
true,
be
that's
his
the best
Justice
thing.
League 1 and 2. So it's going to be like a time travel story. It's going to be
Oh, God.
fucking like I don't know, Martian Manhunter's in it apparently.
I'm pretty sure it's actually retconning, like it's completely getting rid of whatever the Justice League was, that awful piece of shit.
What did it set up? The fact that fucking Batman uses guns? Is it going to retcon Batman v Superman?
No, it's not
No, it's
retconning,
a sequel
retconning
to
any of
Batman
that.
v
It's a
Superman.
sequel to that. Whereas Justice League, imagine they remade the Rise of Skywalker, but as like the Jewel of the Fates script.
Okay.
If that kind of makes sense.
All right,
Or
so they're just
halfway through,
replacing it. They're just
halfway
replacing
through,
it.
Yeah,
Jewel, like,
it's
started
the
making
Snyder
Jewel
cut
of
of the
Fates.
Justice League movie that came out. So it's like an alternate cut to that movie, which happens to be a completely different movie because they went so far off Zack Snyder's original like vision for it.
Yeah, like that's how you know how weird it went. And
Yeah.
Joss Whedon like abused everyone, and
I
then
mean, it's-
Warner
it's
Brothers is
Joss
trying
Whedon.
to then Warner Brothers is trying to cover up because they don't want Jeff Johns to be implicated because he's the only guy that makes. Well, he's like really good at making comics 10 years ago.
Yeah. So it's really funny. It's really funny that.
Oh no, have we lost Discord? Have I lost internet? I've lost internet in the middle of the podcast. This is an interesting conundrum. This is a very interesting conundrum, chat. I don't know what I'm going to do about this. Also, no chat. The chat isn't going to see this. Interesting. Do I keep record? I wonder how long it's going to take for my internet to come back online. I wonder if it was a family member who disconnected it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the recording, and then we're going to come back with the last 20 minutes of the podcast at a later point. See you for the end of the episode.
All right.
And we're back! My
Now
internet's back. We're back live. We're back with the boys. We were talking about the Snyder Cut. Do we have anything kind of important to say on that again? I can't remember where we were with it.
Joseph is about to go on an episode 9 tangent. Like.
Well, I wasn't, but I will go now.
No. Okay, guys. So milk and cookies, Joseph. Think about the milk and cookies.
I'm thinking about milk and cookies.
Yeah,
I always think about milk and cookies. You know that. Well,
and you know that they can be taken from you.
Coby was like, it's really funny. Yeah, I just think it's funny that, yeah. Well, sucks to suck, I guess, Dan.
It really this is throwing a spanner in the works. I feel like we had
all I'm saying is May doesn't have these technical difficulties.
You're right. Fuck. I'm a failure. Failure.
Okay. Don't get so down to the dumps.
Coby, I think this is it.
I just want you to know that when the Young Crumbs take the number 1 spot for local podcast, it's going to be your fault.
No, that's Don't Bowl there.
You don't have, they're only on like 16 episodes or something.
Oh my god. Not all people can achieve greatness like myself.
Okay, we're back in the podcast, Joseph, so... we are streaming live, twitch.tv/podcast if you're not watching it. Also, go check the video episode. It was a great video episode. We're not done yet, though. I think we were going for about 40 minutes before, so we should do another 20 or so now. Did any of you have any topics to jumpstart this back?
Fuck. Let me check the topics channel.
I think we've kind of hit all of them. You had a topic from like weeks ago called Insurance Cunts. Do you want to...
Insurance Cunts, yeah.
Is that an evergreen topic?
So last March, I got into a bit of a crash. A lot like Joseph, actually. It was a 3-car bumper to bumper.
Bumper to bumper, not the sound. In fact, the bumpers colliding.
I wasn't the second car hit. I was the third car hit.
So you were the furthest forward. So someone hit someone else who hit you.
Yes.
So you are at zero fault in this.
Yes, there is zero fault. So when I called my mum, because I'm like, I don't know what to do in this situation, and she said, get both people's contact information, and we'll send them to the insurance. We'll do whatever you need to do. And I'm like, okay, sick, whatever. So that happens. I delete all their information off of my phone, like the cars, number plates, and stuff like that, except for their licenses, I guess, and I have no idea why.
Wait, was there any particular reason you deleted this information, or just to potentially self-sabotage?
No, just because I thought it was done with. I deleted it like a couple months after I was going through my phone and doing a bit of a cleanse. So, smash cut to like a month ago. About a month and a half ago, sometime during December. Insurance contacts my mum. I'm under my mum's insurance for car. And they go, hey, we need to get more information about the incident that you had in March. Mum told me about that, and I'm like, that's weird. I gave them all the people's information. I told the car was fixed. They paid for it, whatever. And, then it was like, oh, well, they probably just need to follow up on that. Anyway, so smash cut to January, forgotten about it. And we call them and they're like, yeah, you need to fill out this form that you didn't fill out. Didn't know I had to fill it out. And so the form, and on the form you just have to do a diagram. You have to do other stuff, but there's a diagram that you have to draw about like the crash and just detail the crash. And then I thought, how much detail can I put into this drawing that I'm giving to the insurance company? or how abstract can I make it possibly? You know, two ends of the spectrum here.
Oh, well, you were just trying to fuck yourself.
No, I was trying to see what I could get away with in the insurance.
There's that like meme of like the dude submitting a claim about him hitting a kangaroo, and he just like kind of drew like a kangaroo in the car. And it's
the car on the kangaroo.
So that's what I'm imagining at the moment.
So no. I drew just a typical, thing of where it happened.
Do you have this? Did you take a photo of it?
No, I didn't, because it's also got information about.
You could take a photo of just your drawing.
That is true.
Coby, you failed me for the last time.
But also, I just found it kind of redundant. They have the other people's information. I don't know what they have the information that I was the third car that was hit. In this scenario, I don't know what else they could be following up. I'm just really confused, and I thought it was a cunt move to take time out of my precious day to make me call you up.
This is where that came from.
Wait. So did they ask you for this information? Like, is this where the story lies, or are you just angry that they contacted you?
No, the story lies that they asked me for this information, and I found it funny that I could draw, no matter how much artistic experience I have, they trust anybody to draw anything on that piece of paper and for it to be remotely accurate. Now,
so wait, were the insurance people cunts, or are you just annoyed that you had to follow up on this?
I'm annoyed that I had to follow up.
No, he's just annoyed he had to follow up.
And that I had to draw a fucking picture, even though they know everything that happened. I explained it to them originally last March when it happened.
But was there any fallout from you not having their people's contact information? Like what?
No, because it was months. I gave them all that information. I had that information originally, and I gave it to them, right? So I don't know why they're asking for it again.
Which I think yours seems really a pain, whereas mine was literally like go on the Allianz website, fill out this thing, and then hear for them like 3 other times because they're just telling us if the car is being written off or not. That's all. That is all the information we had to give. Like I didn't have to draw anything. I just took. Did you take pictures of your car though? And
I did take pictures of my car.
I don't remember how bad was the damage on your car. I don't remember.
Yeah, I didn't remember you getting into a crash.
There was back bumper damage.
So was it just the one piece?
Yeah. So it was fixed.
Yeah.
There was also something else on my car that was broken. Like the one of the side panels had come loose a bit, but
did you blame it on the crash? Get insurance to fix it? Trust you can confess insurance fraud here. I promise they're not listening.
No one's actually listening.
No one's listening. No, I wanted to. I was hoping that like I've got a chip in my windscreen, on my front. Yeah, it's a windscreen.
You're hoping they'd fix that from your accident?
That would crack and then be like, the accident caused it.
You should have just fucking smacked it with your head, so you'd be like, and my head hit the windscreen, guys.
Dan, no. And I don't want to go to jail like you are because you stole a bit from the young
No, they'll never find me. I'm running. I'm going to Mexico after this.
I'm
going to jump out of that 70th story window. Like the hedge fund people after the GME, my diamond hands, baby. Where did the diamond hands come from? I don't understand that bit of it.
I don't know.
I don't know, but what's the GME?
Valuable?
Weekly GME stock update. It's shit.
Down. Okay, here I found an article titled "Tendies Diamond Hands: Your Guide to the Lingo on the it trails off on the Wall Street Bets, the Reddit forum fueling GameStop's rise." Diamond hands. On the topic of holding these, are two phrases that refer to people's hands, but it's really about what they can stomach. If you've got diamond hands, you're ready to hold a position for the end goal, despite the potential risks, headwinds, and losses. If you've got paper hands, you exit a position or fold early because of the heat. The situation won't be too much. So the people with the diamond hands are the ones who held their stock.
They're idiots.
No, they're sticking it to the man, Joseph.
Yeah, and the man is going to get all their money back from the government, where they're just going to lose many monies.
This is only going to get worse if the government bails them out. Wall Street Bets is just going to start doing it to other stocks.
Yeah. And then the government goes bankrupt, and then nobody gets money except...
And then we can finally be properly lib-left.
And then we can see what deep fucking value looks like?
Yeah.
No, is he really, ugly?
It was not what I expected, honestly. Hang on, let me pull... This is the iconic image of him.
Pull it up.
Giga Chad.
Is it going to be on the stream?
Yep, I'm just getting it. I'm getting it.
Get it.
There
Get
he
it
is.
up.
There's our king. Deep fucking
wow.
value.
Fucking
That's-
value.
Deep
Yeah.
value. He has a
looks
YouTube
like a-
channel. What's his YouTube? It's like Kitty something. Kitty fucking.
Roaring Kitty. Roaring Kitty. It's
yeah,
roaring
and he gives. He just gives like fucking financial.
advice. Yeah. He looks like Matt Mercer.
Hey,
if
what's
you know
up?
who that is.
Cursor? Is
Matt
he the
Mercer.
sickest?
No.
Hey, don't fuck with him.
Cursor is the sickest. Cursor is the sickest.
But
Sorry.
yeah,
my
no. So
lad
that
just
whole
came through.
saga of 2021's over. Okay, what needs to happen is someone needs to do like a We Didn't Start the Fire 2, but it's just like from the start of 2020 to the end of COVID, because I'm sure crazy shit's just gonna keep happening.
Yeah.
Well, there's not going to be an end of COVID till all the stupid people
Well,
get
until all
vaccines.
the vaccines and enough people have them.
God, I hate people.
God, the world needs a plague. Wait.
World is a proper one, but only lasts like 6 months. And
No,
then I
you
can,
missed
like,
Kobe's
go
joke.
out.
We have a plague. It's COVID.
No, but I'm saying, but we need a proper one. But it
I
only
don't-
lasts about 6 months, and it
Speaking of fuck
like
shit.
devastates like
Being in a fuck shit.
half the population.
Speaking
Then
of
we're
fuck
good.
shit, are we going to talk about WandaVision?
I was trying to find a way to segue into it. So
Yeah.
in the last 10 minutes of the episode here, we're going to
Alright,
discuss
muted.
WandaVision. Wait, Joseph, don't go yet. We're going to start spoiler free.
Okay, spoiler free.
Give our
and
top
then I'll
level
mute
thoughts, and then
you
we
can
are.
spoil
Joseph hasn't watched it yet, but me and Kobe are going to get into the implications of what the last episode means.
And then I'm also
in
going to give them
spoilers.
an ultimatum at the end.
Okay, but so Joseph, I'll handle the muting of you so that you know when, like, you'll come back. You can interact with the chat in the meantime. Perhaps get some cookies and milk. But anyway,
it. I don't
already-
have any cookies
no.
at the moment.
that's an upsetting fact. But anyways,
I'm
spoilers.
upset.
This graphic will come on the screen when there's spoilers. It said spoilers. Anyway, so Joseph, have you started the series yet? At
No,
all?
I haven't started it. I got to watch Teen Wolf.
Okay,
Alright.
you don't have.
I'm
to.
14 again. I gotta watch my teen
Don't have to. No one's
wolves.
forcing you to.
So the elevator pitch for
No one is.
WandaVision.
But I want to watch
The
it.
elevator pitch for WandaVision is it's set after Endgame, so after the events of the unsnapping, the blip as they call it in universe, and Wanda Maximoff and Visionson, he doesn't have a last name, appear to be in some sort of sitcom that is progressing through each episode. The sitcom progresses through the decade, so it was like a 50s sitcom in the first episode, 60s in the second, 70s in the third, and so on. And as it progresses, the reality seems to be falling apart, and everything's kind of very strange. From that pitch, which is kind of the pitch that we got leading into it, and even the pitch that the press got, because that's basically what the show was for the first 3 episodes, which is what the press junket was like what the people on the press tour was shown. It's a very bizarre concept, very non-cookie cutter for Marvel, very out of left field. Not their like typical, because this is the kind of we didn't get an origin story, like a dedicated origin for a Wanda and Vision. It was kind of tacked into Age of Ultron. So this is the first.
That was a movie, wasn't it?
It's a movie that's been made retroactively better. I imagine.
Michelle.
Yeah,
Give it
give
up
it
for
up for
Michelle.
Michelle.
She's now on the podcast. She was on the podcast.
She was on the podcast.
Saying goodbye.
No, I think
She
that
said
movie's been
goodbye.
made retroactively better, but that's a separate discussion. But so Kobe, what's your opinion on WandaVision, and Joseph, what caused you not to watch it originally?
Who do you want to go first? Me or
whoever
Kobe?
talks first.
I'll go first.
Okay, you always come first.
Well,
it's okay.
I'm used to going
He's
first.
a selfish lover.
He is.
I was just gonna say I didn't want to watch it straight away because it was a Marvel show, and
He's been burnt in the past.
I'm at this point I'm kind of sick of Marvel, just because they're all kind of similar. Like they're all the same movie, just skinned differently. There's only like a few that aren't, in my perspective anyway. You might have a different opinion, and I respect that. But yeah, and that's why I just didn't want to watch it from the start. But what you guys have said, that's actually quite good, and it's not really actually
Yeah,
Marvel,
so it's
if that
absolutely
makes
not
sense.
like the cookie cutter. It's not like a Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange. Like doesn't follow the formula.
Ant-Man, what
Ant-Man,
other?
just
Oh,
all of
that's
the origin movies.
That's because I think it's in a TV show format. I think that...
Well, but even still, it could have been your generic action TV show.
Which
and
I think
it's really
Winter
not. It's
Cauldron
kind of more of like
Falcon will be
cerebral's like probably too heavy of a word for it, but it's more thinking, less fighting.
psychedelic.
It's a drama.
Psychedelic.
It's like a very well shot, well thought out drama.
It's kind of like light thriller elements too, which makes it
Absolutely
more unique.
no, not even light. Like especially the last couple episodes have definitely ventured very much into thriller territory.
Well, I said this last time, and again, the show is great. I really like the show and the format of the show. But I said this last week too, and I think this episode really cemented it for me again, is I personally would have liked to have just seen the sitcom without and like have the context come later.
But you can understand how that would not be entertaining and hold an audience for 8 weeks, 9 weeks.
Yeah, I understand. Like I understand that there's
like
going
you would
to have
hate it. Your argument would be then, why don't we know anything? This is stupid. This is boring. It's not going anywhere. And then at the 8th episode, when more than half of the people have stopped watching, and if they divulge the story, then the pacing for that would have been wrong.
Again, I'm not disagreeing with the choice that they've made. I'm just saying that from a personal standpoint, I know that we would have to eventually get context for the outside world. But especially this past episode just made it like when you've now got that context out there, you now have like that thriller element is kind of gone, right?
I disagree. We can get more into this when the spoilers, but I fully disagree.
Is it kind of like a Stranger Things season 2, where season 1 was really good?
And I refuse.
I'd
it's actually
say,
good.
I'd say
Season
when
1's
it
good. The
cuts
rest
out, it reminds me that we're in the Marvel universe, and the show, like, it's still extremely unique. I like the show. I like the format, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing that they've switched it, like they've cut away from like what the allure of the show is. But I would have I personally like just watching the mystery unfold itself and then have Vision go, "What's happening, Wanda? What's happening?"
I'd argue that by the time that they broke, like, light spoilers, but you're an idiot if you didn't think this was going to happen. By the time that eventually, like, the false reality broke, I feel like the whole mystery had been presented, and if they just strung it out, it wouldn't have felt earned. But keep in mind, at the time of recording, only the first 5 episodes, 5 of 9, have come out, so we still don't know everything. But the groundwork for the mystery and then all of the first relevant clues had been given to us. And I think if what you'd said and the first 5 had just been in the formula of the first 3, I think that we would have either, if they'd been stretched out, we would have complained about the pacing and that the first 3 episodes didn't really make sense and that we kind of got context and this was just taking too long. Or if it was the first 3 episodes as they were and we got episode 4 and 5 still in that format, I'd say that the reception would be like, nothing is happening. These 2 episodes were filler. Can we just get to the plot? We only have 4 episodes left.
But that's kind of the thing. When you're writing like this, you know, when you've written the story, you know that episode 4 is going to give context for those first 3 episodes. And then after that, you're going to be cutting between at different points in the story. But that's just like how it has been written, right? There's other way. It's not like it's if you just took away those, if you took away those things. You know,
but at
because
what point are you just making mystery for mystery's sake? I feel like everything that's happened so far has been incredibly deliberate, and there's like not been a wasted second. Everything's so important to the plot, so important to the characters' arcs over the story. Well, I think we're just going to disagree on this point.
Yeah, and because I personally like the concept of just the sitcom stuff.
Would you watch if Disney put out as like a side piece to this? Just the sitcom that we're not getting, as like a side.
Yeah, I would. If it was like 6 episodes of just, or
like 6 20-minute episodes of like the
6
sitcom.
20-minute episodes of just like the Wanda and Vision stuff, right? I think I would like that because it's interesting, it's unique, and I understand that from a story perspective and from a writing perspective, you have to make sure that there's context given. But this episode specifically, and when we start, can we just go into spoilers?
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to go into spoilers now, Joe, so I'm going to definitely you in the call. If you haven't seen it and you care, just tune out of the stream, pause the podcast,
I'm running away
later. Yes. Okay. And the spoilers graphic is going up. So you've been warned. Spoilers.
Spoilers. So like this episode really like did it for me because now it's a cheesy device and I get it that like everybody in the world is also watching the TV series as it happens, right? But there was a point and it was at the very end of the episode and I'm going to leave it for a bit later just in case people are still here like listening to it.
Out. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Where like a character pulled away and she said at the very end of the episode
has been recast.
Yeah,
right. What you're talking about. So I love that because I think so. The Kat Dennings, Randall Park, and is it Darcy, Jimmy Woo, and Monica Rambeau? They're playing the audience basically. Like more so Randall Park's character and Kat Dennings' character are like the audience's vehicle into the show, and I love that because I think without like the characters don't know everything, they're learning as we're learning. They're like the mystery is happening to the characters too, and I'm personally loving that narrative device. I think it's making it a lot more engaging because it's making the discoveries feel more earned. I'm a big fan.
But see, again, it brings me to my point that I want to be also the one to figure that shit out, And
you are. Haven't you been like seeing like the commercials and be like, oh fuck?
Yeah, right. But like, I also just think that was kind of like I see that. I know that he's been recast. I've got the context of why that character, like why the importance of that character matters. But at the same time,
it's been enough time. I want to get into that. Like, finish your point, and then we'll go.
Well, like just say it. It's fucking. It's Quicksilver from the X-Men.
Yeah,
from the X-Men universe.
So, what's her name? Olsen. Elizabeth Olsen tweeted out that WandaVision has a reveal to the scale of the spoilers for Mandalorian, Luke in Mandalorian reveal in the show. And apparently this wasn't it. So I think the crossovers are going to continue. So what happened in the end of this episode, in the context of the sitcom, there was a knock on the door, and the door opened, and it was just kind of shocked faces. Our Vision was kind of questioning it. Elizabeth Olsen was shocked, and the camera turns around, and it's Evan Peters who played Quicksilver in the Fox X-Men universe. And he's like, "Hi, I'm like Wanda. It's me, your brother." And that's kind of where the episode ends. And then Kat Dennings' character's like outside of the show, like, "Holy shit, they recast Pietro." So there's like a lot of implications to this. It could be that literally she's just pulled another human, and like Disney's winking at us like they got Evan Peters, and as like a nod, but he's not reprising his role as the X-Men, Fox's X-Men. Quicksilver. It could be the multiverse thing because we know that this show ties fairly directly into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Multiverse being the key word. This is a perfect vehicle for Marvel to start introducing the X-Men into the MCU, and I think kind of preserving some of the cast because the thing that people hate about those X-Men movies isn't the cast; it's the shitty stories. I think Michael Fassbender is fantastic as Magneto. James McAvoy is fantastic as Professor X. The other people as the other characters. I'll take it or leave it. I think Evan Peters as Quicksilver is one of the strongest characters in that whole show, though, in the whole universe, though. And as Under Portal in our Twitch chat, it says, "Sweet dreams are made of these," referring to the scene that kind of really blew up that character for everyone in X-Men: Days of Future Past. And so, if they have brought. If this is like the merging point between those two universes, first off, it happened way sooner than I expected, and second, what a fucking cool way to do it.
Yeah, no, it was real cool. It was real cool.
What's your hypothesis on what's happening? So at the end of the episode, the two things that happened were with that reveal, and also Wanda revealed that she doesn't know how this started, and she's not the only one in control. What's your hypothesis on what's happening?
So that's what I wanted to bring up, which is why. Again, back to my other point that I don't like the vignettes of people outside, but that's whatever now. Is that I like how she's not in control, but this episode kind of cemented that like she also kind of is. Like there was weird breaks within the sitcom element that I thought were kind of weird. And that took me out.
There was a lot. Like there was a lot of the things like when Agnes was like, "Should I take it from the top?" And
which was,
awesome.
Yeah, which was cool, but also like that was a bit jarring for me when like she said that, and like
that's the whole point. It was supposed it's jarring to them in the scene. It's jarring to the audience. It was jarring to the characters watching from outside in like within the universe of the show. The point is that the kind of like the mirage is breaking down more and more and more and more as the show progresses, and I'm loving it.
Yeah. So, I don't really want to theorize. I just want to go with the flow. I think that
for the sake of the podcast, I'm going to theorize.
Well, I just want to say that like fucking this like because of COVID and how like the story structure of the MCU going forward has kind of been jumbled up. We've talked about it in the past, like how Black Widow was meant to kick off Phase 4, and now it's coming after Bucky and Winter Soldier. I just think that a lot of these reveals are coming way sooner than expected because they're meant to come later with a little bit more context.
I think Falcon and Winter Soldier and this are two things possibly happening at the same time, or like time independent, doesn't really matter. I like that we're not just in a lull, like they're just straight up and the story's moving again, because they very well could have just for like this whole first phase of this next saga just been like the movies are all separate again. Like, I like that, no, we're dealing with the fallout of the blip. We're dealing with, like, the fallout of Endgame. These characters do all know each other. The world, like, the people in the world of the MCU know about these people. They know about the Guardians and about space. Like, everything's been blown open. And they're just kind of accepting those facts and moving forward rather than kind of, like, pretending it didn't happen or rolling them back. I like that they're committing to it.
I guess, yeah.
Anyway, so my theory for what's happening is... so the character Agnes, who is the next door neighbor in the sitcom, who's featured very heavily throughout the show. She's been there for a lot of the breaking moments.
That her husband is the devil or something.
I'm going to keep going with my theory anyway. So there was the moment in this episode where Vision was like, oh, she shows up and he's like, oh, you're always just kind of showing up at opportune times. And then there's the bit where they get the dog and he's like, don't worry, Wanda. I bet someone's going to show up with exactly what we need in just a moment. And then she knocks on the door and walks in with the doghouse thing. So what I think is there's a character in the MCU comics called Agatha Harkness, who is another witch like Scarlet Witch, who was like a mentor to her in the comics, but was also kind of antagonistic. I think that Agnes is actually Agatha Harkness, and so you recall it outside of the thing where, like, in the Sword base, how they're like, oh, this person is playing this person in the show on that whiteboard, and they have all the photos. So there was a shot of that whiteboard where everyone kind of had like their real person alias and who they're playing in the show, but they haven't identified which person is Agnes. Yeah. So that kind of lends credence to that theory that she's actually just Agatha Harkness. She's like otherworldly or not part of like civilization or whatever.
Also, the fact that her name is just those two names put together. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Further credence to the theory. So I think that she's the one kind of who's brought them in for some reason. Her motives, I'm not sure. I love the character development that's happening with Vision. How he managed to break that guy out, then let him back in. It's also kind of fucked up that is just Vision's corpse that Wanda's put back together.
Yeah, it kind of is. It's cool though.
It's very
I'd
cool.
have a Vision corpse.
I'm very excited about what is happening in this show, and we probably won't touch on this again until after the finale. So in 4 weeks' time, or 5 weeks' time, everyone make sure you're up to date, watch the show, and we're going to talk about it on that episode. So we're gonna bring Joseph back in. Coby has something very funny to say when he comes back.
Well, no, I've got an ultimatum for you, Dan.
Okay.
I've got an ultimatum for you.
What is your ultimatum, Coby? Joseph, you're back.
Joseph, you're back. Joseph, welcome back. Joseph, welcome back.
Everyone give it up for Joseph.
I was watching pizza videos.
All right, so Dan, this is my ultimatum. Every time since Mandalorian has come out, you've insisted that we have a segment at the end of every show.
I like segments; they're fun.
To review a Disney property, right? That we don't necessarily always want to keep up to date with. I felt obligated to keep up with to keep up with WandaVision because I know that you were just going to fucking hark on about it because you wanted to talk about this episode. And I just want to point out this was one of my least favorite. This was my least favorite episode so far. Personally,
you're allowed to be wrong.
Right?
I
just want to throw this ultimatum.
the alternator from
there.
Apex Legends.
Yeah.
Alternator in your car that charges the battery.
That doesn't sound right.
I want to throw this
called
out there
alternator.
that I think that it's unfair that you get to dictate what we can and can't watch. Or most
I don't
of
think
You guys are allowed to offer suggestions. It's just that, as the legal team stated, Daniel is responsible for most of the programming in relation to the show.
Okay,
Also
I've
does
got
most of
I've
the
got an
work.
idea. I've got a good
so my
idea.
ultimatum is
Teamwork.
that hold on, Joseph. I'm speaking. Shut the fuck up.
Are you going to make
know
me
you-
watch Attack on Titan for you to finish watching WandaVision? Is that the ultimatum?
What?
That I'm going to have to watch Attack on Titan if we're going to keep watching WandaVision? Is that the ultimatum?
No. My ultimatum is that we just have why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? Right? If there's a new series, we wait till the series end to talk about it from
But
now
see,
on.
some of them are relevant to talk about while they're happening.
And instead, we swap this segment out, right? We swap this segment out for a monthly segment, be it as it may, for all of us to catch up on something. And then we come back after the month, knowing that we're going to watch this thing. I dropped my pen, so I no longer look cool. We
didn't
come
look
back
cool
at
at
the
the
end of
start.
the month. And
So like
now-
a kind of a book club, but for like TV and movies.
yeah, right?
And then
what do
each
those
month
thi-
someone else picks
Oh
the
boy,
thing.
what do those
Okay.
fingers do?
So
What do those fingers do?
So
Look at
here's
him go.
my response to your ultimatum, Coby.
Yeah.
Think about the issues we've had already trying to get Joseph and Caden to watch a show that they're interested in, or like that's actually
See,
good.
That's not Star Wars.
My greater point, Dan, is that
That's
it's
not
not going
teamwork.
to happen. And the fact of the matter is that this is a boring thing, and I don't want to be
I
watching.
think it's boring because you make it boring. I personally find it a very interesting and enlightening segment.
I don't. Gonna be honest, and this is peek behind the
I
curtain.
feel like you
Dan.
never gave it a chance.
This is step one, Joseph. This is step one of us overthrowing your
Wait,
type.
no coups, no unions.
Too bad, Daniel. I've got 2 dukes, and I'm about to
To
kill
what?
2 dukes.
He's duked.
I
He's
thought
double.
you said 2 dicks.
He's double duking.
I've got 2
now.
dukes.
Well,
and I've got an
I'm a fucking inquisitor or whatever it is, and I can kill you.
So,
So go on.
I've got my second coin. I've got my 7 coins, and I've.
Is this
it's my turn.
WandaVision or is it like what are you
No, this is-
referencing
yeah,
here?
This is. I'm referencing the board
The
game
game
Coup.
Coup.
Oh, that's yes.
I've got my
we've
7
played that.
coins, Dan. It's my turn. And I'm going to coup someone.
So look,
Uh,
Kobe, just before you make that move, I have to say one thing. Joseph,
Yeah.
where can the kids find you?
In the bush.
What's your...
Outside the house. What are we talking about?
Your-
Oh, via
your
Garibaldi.
socials.
via via.Garibaldi. If you want to see some wicked pizza, everyone have a look, and you won't be disappointed. Give me a follow. When I get 100 followers, I'll be doing a giveaway. That's not true. I'm not doing a giveaway. I don't know why I said that. Just get me to 100 followers. Thank you.
Kobe, where can the kids find you?
Find me on Instagram at _55 Kobe55_ or at South_bound_band, or on Twitter you can find me at Kobe_55.
And you can find me at DanielF737 on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow the Slalt Cast at Slalt Cast on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok now. We didn't talk about that. Fucking our TikTok's like popping off unbelievably, which is cool. You can also follow the Slalt Cast on Twitch. We stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Follow the Slalt Cast on YouTube. Subscribe, hit that bell, like all the videos, watch them please. We upload the video versions, and we were gonna try putting the post shows up on YouTube this week, but the edit's already complex enough with the internet dropout in the middle, so maybe we'll start that next week. The Twitch audience is gonna get a post show after this episode finishes. But for now, Kobe, so restate your position. What's gonna happen?
I'm about to kill Dan.
You're about so. Sorry, can you repeat that? Can you? What I'm hearing is that you're attempting.
I'll do take 2. I'll do take coup. Ready? All right. Ready? Dan.
Yep.
Nothing personal, kid.
I thought his ass cheeks were out there for a second. It was just his shirt lifted up.
My fate's a black button didn't work. Thanks for listening. please remember to leave a positive rating wherever you're listening from, and to follow our socials at Slalt Cast on Twitter and Instagram.